Stonesbridge Championship game between Featherstone Rovers and Wakefield Trinity. The Wakefield Trinity team just come out onto the field. Number 1 Lee Child, 2 is Dave Nelson, 3 Steve McGowan, 4 Adrian Flynn, 5 Dio Powell, 6 is Nigel Wright, 7 Aaron Whittaker, 8 Ian Marlowe, 9 Billy Conway, 10 is Mark Shields, 11 Ian Gildard, 12 Nigel Bell and 13 Mike Forshaw, with substitutes 14 Johnny Thompson and 15 Robert Peaver. The Rovers team just coming out onto the field. Number 1 Carl Gibson, 2 is Ickenham Butt, 3 Brett Rogers, 4 Matt Calland, 5 Darren Hughes, 6 is Brendan Toulter, 7 Mark Aston, 8 Steve Malloy, 9 Graham Sutherwood, 10 is Jason Sims, with 11 being Daniel Devey, 12 Gary H. Price and 13 Neil Roebuck. The Rovers substitutes number 14 Mark Nixon and 15 Richard Gunn. Your referee for today is that referee from Wigan. He seems to be a regular down here, both his brother himself, Mr. John Connolly. It's amazing how the same clubs get the same referees week in and week out. I was talking to Ian Brook, the Doncaster coach, the other week, and he said that it was the first time that they'd had Stuart Cummins refereeing him this season, and I know for a fact Rovers have had him several times. So the scene's all set here at Rovers this afternoon. Featherstone Rovers desperately needing 2 points from today's match to climb away from that relegation zone at the bottom of the table. Wakefield just above Rovers in the league table. They've just had 3 fine wins on the trot, but they had a bad loss last week to Halifax on the home soil, whereas Featherstone Rovers' last outing was a convincing win against 11-man Doncaster. So I'm sure David Ward's men will be looking for the second win on the trot. See if they can't get a good couple of wins together to build confidence up in the team, because I think that's all that's lacking. Just that little bit of team spirit, just that little bit of confidence about winning, and Featherstone Rovers will be back on the way again. So Steve Malloy, the Rovers captain, losing the toss, and Wakefield Trinity playing from right to left as we look at the pitch, obviously. So it'll be Mark Aston. By my watch, we're nearly just about 30 seconds gone now past 3. There we go. Mark Aston gets the game underway. And Aaron Whittaker there, the ball just going by his legs, but Wakefield Trinity man picks the ball up. So it's Trinity there with Dave Nelson on the wing. Coming in, ex-Sheffield player, obviously Dave Nelson, an ex-Castleford player. So good defence by Rovers. Neil Roebuck there making the tackle. So big Brendan Toulter there getting Mark Shields to the ground. Good defence by Brendan Toulter that on Mark Shields. And Trinity making no progress at all. Big number 8 there, Ian Marlowe. Ex-Hull player, of course. And Trinity played the 5 tackles. Good defence by Rovers, keeping them pinned inside their own 20-metre area, but that's a good kick downfield, that. And Carl Gibson just has to backtrack, taps the ball with his foot. That's all on. And it's a good chase by Trinity. Good defence there by Mike Forshaw, the ex-Wigan player. So we're inside that Rovers 20-metre area. It's Ickenham Butts. Congratulations to Ickenham. He had his debut for England on Wednesday evening when they played against Wales, but it's Steve Malloy there. Quick play to the ball, straight Sutherwood now there to Gary H. Price. Gary H. Price still the first line. Gary H. Price still going. This is a fine run by Gary H. He's taking this defence on. Marvellous running by Gary H. And that's got to be a penalty. Gary H. wanted to play the ball quickly. Number 9, Billy Conway, won't allow him to play the ball. Penalty kick to Rovers. And that's the start of what Rovers needed. Gary H, of course, playing against his old teammates here, the Wakefield Trinity lads. You always find that when they played against the old team, they always like to put a show on, and that's brilliant play. That's by Gary H. Price, covered a fully 50 metres on that diagonal run there. Pushing 2 or 3 would-be tacklers out of the way, just swatting them off like flies. So let's hope that Mark Aston can just bob this over. He's straight in front, strakes the ball straight and through between the middle. Rovers 2, Wakefield Trinity 0. Goal to Mark Aston, I think that's his 32nd goal of the season. Contradicting myself here, it is his exact Mark Aston's 36th goal of the season, 35 prior to this match. So back to the play now, it's Rovers, Matt Callan gets that ball across there. Darren Rogers, that's good play by Rovers. Matt Callan there getting Brett Rogers on a run, but Gary H. Price there having to backtrack, so it's Brendan Toulter now, looking for that halfway line. Good defence though by Wakefield. And that's a penalty kick, holding on. Number 10 there, Mark Shields, holding on to Brendan Toulter's legs. Just that split second tool on, but let's get the game into perspective. So that quick tap there. So it's Sutherwood now there. This is good running this by Jason Sims, but marvellous tackling that by number 12, Nigel Bell. So it's Rovers now, Mark Aston to Brendan Toulter. Brendan Toulter there to Danny Devey. Inside that Trinity 20-metre area, looked like a forward pass to me, but referee set play on, so it's Mark Aston now there to Neil Robert. Neil Robert now to Jason Sims. Jason Sims there, takes the tackle, but Rovers played offside. No, it's all on. The Wakefield Trinity player touched it. The Wakefield Trinity player touched that ball. Referee wiping them tackles off, so it's Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck there, tried to straighten up, tries to get that ball across. But that's back to one again, he just wants steadying up. Brett Rogers for Rovers. Rovers another 6 tackles inside that Trinity 20-metre area. Ikram Butt, he's butting for the line, is Ikram. But Mike Forshaw there gets them big arms round him, makes the tackle. So it's Sutherwood from acting halfback, loses the ball. Trinity get possession. Number 10, Mark Shields there, calms it down for Trinity. So number 4 there, Adrian Flynn, tries to run it out. Nobuck and Toulter makes the tackle. So it's Aaron Whittaker and Brendan Toulter. And that's a penalty kick to Wakefield. Aaron Whittaker there and Brendan Toulter having a few words. So penalty kick to Wakefield. Nigel Wright puts that ball into touch just beneath another gantry, just inside Trinity's half of the field. Big number 18 Marlowe, first driving. Opposite number there, Steve Beloy makes the tackle. Now it's Mark Shields there. But Neil Roebuck there makes the tackle. That's all on. Mike Forshaw, quick tap ball.
That decision.
Well, I just can't understand that decision. Nigel Bell took the tap penalty. Referee set play on. Tried to get the ball back inside. Tried to pass the ball. The ball hit the referee. The referee blew his whistle and get Rovers offside. Well, that's how stupid the game's got in this country. Everybody's trying to just play 100-mile-an-hour football. Everybody's being caught offside, and that time the ball hit the referee, and the referee pulled Featherstone Rovers up for being offside.
Will appeal to the London public at all costs, John.
So here's a chance here for Nigel Wright to square things up. There we go, straight between the middle. Featherstone Rovers 2, Wakefield Trinity 2. Penalty goal to Nigel Wright. So Mark Aston it is, gets the game underway. And David Nelson chests the ball down. No, he hit it with his chest. And good defence by Rovers, moving up quickly. Danny Devey in with that tackle. Neil Roebuck there. That's good defence, that by Neil Roebuck. Pushing Trinity back. And once again there, Graham Sutherwood round the boat laces, making the tackle. And once again, that's good defence. Jason Sims making the tackle. So it's Mark Shields working that blind side. Once again, that Rovers defence standing firm. Quick play of the ball. So Nigel Wright there pushing that ball through. The ball rolling and rolling. That's a good kick out by Nigel Wright, finding the touchline. So it'll be Mark Aston to feed the scrum. I think this is the first scrum of the match, is it? So Mark Aston feeds the scrum. Gives it to Darren Hughes. And a knock on there. What a mistake by Rovers. Just can't believe that's happened there in that position by Rovers on the second tackle. So Trinity find themselves with the ball, and Rovers having to do all the defending now, this time in their own 20-metre line. We've seen Trinity defending their line successfully. Let's see if Rovers can do likewise. That's good defence. Jason Sims below and Brendan Toulter on top. Now it's Mark Forshaw and Brendan Toulter makes the tackle. Ooh. And Trinity there, very lucky indeed to get away with that. Nigel Wright spotting the danger there. Mark Aston flying in, making the tackle. Ian Gildard there, but that's good defence by Rovers. So it's Trinity looking for that line. Number 4 there, Adrian Flynn wanted to pass the ball in the tackle, so it's Nigel Wright there. That little kick through, it's all on. And Matt Callan there, that's good play by, and that looked a nice tackle by Adrian Flynn there on Matt Callan, but Matt Callan there really put his body on the line that time. But Trinity there looking dangerous. Nigel Wright, that little kick through.
Get a bloody back, Connolly!
And Jason Sims feeling that tackle there off Nigel Bell. Ooh, Danny Devey there. Feeling the full force of that Ian Marlowe tackle. So it's Sutherland now there to Brendan Toulter. Good defence by Trinity. So it's Mark Gasson there pushing that ball through. How good is the chase? The chasers are on. That's all on. Number 5, Dio Powell there, recently signed on with Bradford Northern. So that's brilliant tackling by Rovers there. Lee Chow trying to run it out. So Trinity find themselves. Dave Nelson camped on their own 20-metre line. Graham Sutherwood there brings the tackle off round the boat laces. So it's Ian Marlowe and Gary H there and Brendan Toulter, Jason Sims all involved with that tackle. Quick play of the ball. So it's Adrian Flynn, but once again, Jason Sims makes the tackle. Neil Roebuck.
3 times that leads in the gut. Now number bloody 4, Flynn!
So penalty kick to Rovers. Adrian Flynn being penalised. So once again, Mark Aston instead of kicking for touch, tap penalty. Jason Sim. So it's Gary H. Price. Tackle just. Oh, that's back to 1. Billy Conway this, striking away there to play the ball. So it's Brendan Toulter there, working that 1-2 there with Steve Malloy. And referee stopping the clock. Number 8, Nigel Bell, being injured on the floor. Gives both sides to get organised, and Rovers, I think, on the second tackle. So Sutherwood now from acting half back there to Mark Aston. Mark Aston now there to Danny Devey. And Danny Devey wanting to slip the ball, and once again Rovers losing possession this time on the third tackle. It's unbelievable how they lose these balls on the first and second tackles. So it's Aaron Whittaker feeding the scrum. Ball's out there, Steve McGowan. Also an ex-Bradford Northern player. Gets up, plays the ball. Aaron Whittaker with the ball now there. That's good defence, that's Gary H. Price on Lee Child there, linking up from full-back. So Ian Marlowe looking for that halfway line. Rovers defence standing firm. Graham Sutherwood and Brendan Toulter making the tackles. So it's Aaron Whittaker to Conway. Conway there. That's good defence though by Rovers once again. On number 13 there, Mike Forshaw. And Billy Conway there trying to get his forwards running onto that ball. Mike Shields' his turn this time. And this time Neil Roebuck penalised once again. Another silly penalty given away, and that's on. I think that was on the fifth tackle. That's so once again Rovers making absolutely stupid mistakes there at crucial times, giving another 6 tackles to Wakefield Trinity. Rovers 2, Wakefield Trinity 2. Whittaker with the ball there to Ian Gillard, runs it in, but that's good out tackling that by Brendan Toulton. Jason Sims. So Aidan Whittaker plays the ball. It's all on. Billy Conway with the ball. Billy Conway there, darting one way, darting the other way. Gives the ball there to Lee Child. Lee Child there to Mike Forshaw. Mike Forshaw there. But Graham Sutherwood there gets some arms round, but he got the ball away there to McGowan to Lee Child. Lee Child's in at the corner, and Rovers' defence were at 6s and 7s that time, but that try coming with Neil Roebuck giving that penalty away just on the halfway line just a moment or two ago, giving Wakefield Trinity a penalty kick to touch, quick play of the ball, and from that Lee Child try scored in the corner. Rovers 2, Wakefield Trinity 6. So Nigel Wright's effort there at converting that Lee Child try, just falling beneath the post. It's Featherstone Rovers 2, Wakefield Trinity 6. So Mark Asson gets the game restarted. Awkward bouncing ball, but Steve McGowan takes it there in his in-goal area, runs it out. Tackle just short of his own 20-metre line. Now it's Dave Nelson's turn. He'll run it in, and Neil Roebuck there stands like a rock, makes the tackle. So it's Billy Conway. Dale Powell. Trying to reach the halfway line. Now it's Ian Marlowe. Up to the halfway line. Good penetration this by Trinity. So it's Dave Nelson's running in field, and Mark Shields there makes the tackle on the Trinity wingman. So it's Aidan Whittaker there just pushing that ball through. So Mark Nixon feeds the scrum, and Trinity were offside at that scrum there. Definitely moved inside the 10-metre mark, so it's Carl Gibson. Mike Forshaw making the tackle.
Taking them back.
So Steve Malloy, so it's James Sutherland now to Gary H. Price. Looking for that halfway line, but Billy Conway makes the tackle. So it's Sutherland now there to Brendan Tutor, but that's a terrible kick that. Straight down the throat there of Lee Child. And Darren Hughes makes the tackle on the Wakefield Trinity fullback. So it's Dave Nelson. And Neil Roebuck there makes the tackle. So it's Aaron Whittaker, Billy Conway back inside there to Adrian Flynn. And good defence that's by Brendan Tutor. So it's Billy Conway to Nigel Wright there. And that's good defence. I was just going to say it was good defence by Rovers, but referee John Connolly there penalising Brendan Tutor. Going in with stiff arm, he says, and Nigel Wright says thank you very much. He accepts that penalty kick and puts the ball deep inside that Rovers 20-metre area. So it's in, Nigel Bell runs it in. So it's Billy Conway. It's that ball out wide to Lee Child. Lee Child there looking for Dave Nelson to come inside. Gets the ball inside to him, Dave Nelson there. But that's good tackling that by Mark Aston. Danny Devey just making sure. So it's Ian Marlowe. I can't. So referee penalising Jason Sims for that allegedly high tackle. Nevertheless, it's another 2 points to Trinity, 2 points to Nigel Wright. It's Featherstone Rovers 2, Wakefield Trinity 8. All started with a left ball down here. All started with a mistake. So once again, Mark Aston gets the game underway. Oh, and McGowan that time tapping the ball with his foot. The ball runs spinning away from him. And that's Trinity's second tackle, still camped in their own 20-metre area. So it's Lee Child, but that's good defence by Tutor and by Neil Roebuck. Smothering man and ball. So it's Ian Marlowe up to his own 20-metre line. Good defence that by Steve Malloy. So it's Billy Conway. Jason Sims there and Gary H. Price making the tackle. So it's Nigel Wright. Plenty of time to kick the ball downfield. That's a good kick that by Nigel Wright. But Darren Hughes, good positioning by the Rovers wingman. Takes it first bounce, runs it in. And Aaron Whittaker there jumping at the tackle, makes the tackle. So it's Mark Gasson to Wickram Butt. So it's Gary H. Price over the halfway line.
Everybody down, Conway! Get him off the field!
So Connolly there penalising Trinity offside there. Quick play of the ball there to Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy runs it in. Takes the full shoulder charge there off his opening number there, Ian Marlowe, but kept on going. So it's Mark Cassidy to Jason Sims. Jason Sims losing his footing, but wasn't on his feet to play that ball. Referee says play on, so it's Mark Aston. Mark Aston now there to Matt Callan there to Carl Gibson. Carl Gibson, a bit of room to work here. Good move by Rovers, that's switching play 2 or 3 times. So it's Brendan Tulty to Neil Rober. Beautiful pass there, and Darren Hughes there skating at the corner. And that's Darren Hughes' second try in the Rovers colours. Brilliant work that by Rovers. First moving the ball left to right, then a quick play of the ball, and that beautiful overhead pass there from Brendan Tulty, finding Darren Hughes there, unmarked on the wing, and Darren Hughes there just took the ball and just dived over in the corner. Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 8. So Mark Aston it is, hoping to add the extras on. He's got the height on it, just below the post. Good effort that by Mark Aston. Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 8. Just about 13 or 14 minutes left in this first half. That kick there, that grubber kick there, Danny Devey takes the ball. Comes it out. So it's Darren Hughes, brilliant side step there by Darren Hughes. So it's James Sullivan, he's offside, Nigel Wright. Referee says play on. Just couldn't understand that decision that time, because Nigel Wright was offside there when he tackled the man. So it's Aaron Whittaker to Lee Child. Good defence that by Matt Calland. So it's Ian Gildard, but that's good defence that by Rovers. Matt Calland yet again making the tackle. So it's Billy Conway to Adrian Flynn. Good defence that by Brendan Tulty below, Gary H. Price on top, also Brett Rogers making sure the tackle. So it's Aaron Whittaker to Ian Marlowe, and Ian Marlowe there stuck. Made the tackle there by Steve Malloy. Bob there back to Nigel Wright. Nigel Wright got all attempts. He's got the height on it. It's a marvellous attempt that by Nigel Wright. Brilliant drop goal. Featherstone Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity, thanks to Nigel Wright's drop goal 9. That was offside.
Well offside.
Yeah. So Mark Aston gets the game underway. This time Aaron Whittaker takes it on the full, gives the ball there to Steve McGowan, runs it in. Danny Devey makes the tackle. So it's Aaron Whittaker from Acton Harper to Dave Nelson. Dave Nelson there, looking to burst through the first line of defence, but Gary H. Price standing firm, makes the tackle. Dio Powell, opposite wingman, helping out. 5 metres short of that halfway line. And Trinity substitution on there. Number 13, Robert Peaver. I just can't see who's gone off. So it's Ian Marlowe. Should be Matt Shields who's off the field. So it's Aaron Whittaker. Plenty of room to work, Aaron Whittaker. Pushes that ball through. Rovers head and feed. Rovers 6, Trinity 9. Just about 10-11 minutes left for play in this first half, plus stoppage time. So Mark Aston feeds the scrum. Once again, it's Darren Hughes. Brendan Tulty. This is on the second tackle. Oh, and Brendan Tulty wanted to pass the ball. Adrian Flynn intercepts, and Rovers once again on the second tackle, giving the ball away. And Carl Gibson there, I think, has put the boot into the man. Carl Gibson it was on number 11 there. Nigel Bell while I was on the floor. Referee just stating the both involved in the tackle, and Carl Gibson a few harsh words, and penalty kick once again to Trinity. So once again, the boot of Nigel Wright here can put Trinity 5 points in. Oh, just made that. Thought we're arming the gantry, we're going to miss, but went between the middle of the post. Nigel Wright another 2 points. That's 7 points to Nigel Wright. Featherston Rovers 6, Wakefield Trinity 11. 1 try apiece, but the difference being Nigel Wright's boot.
Because he missed conversion.
Yeah. So Mark Aston once again. Steve McGowan this time laps the kick-off up, drives it in over his own 20-metre line. Aaron Whittaker, about 15 metres from that halfway line. So it's Billy Conway from acting halfback. Good defence that by Jason Sims, spotting the danger. And these Trinity forwards are paving the way. On the last tackle, Nigel Wright looking for a drop goal. That little kick over, it's all on. Carl Gibson there takes the ball on the first bounce. So it's Ikram Butts. He's after 3 tackles in Ikram, he's still buzzing. This time Nigel Wright makes no mistake, round the bootlace and makes the tackle. Jason Sims there. So it's Steve Malloy, but this is good Trinity defence. So it's Sullivan with the ball now there to Brendan Tota, looking at that halfway line. So it's Mark Gasson to Mark Gasson with the ball. Mark Gasson there. Kicks the ball downfield. Mark Gasson putting everybody onside. And Mark Gaston makes the tackle. Good kick and chase that by Mark Gaston. So it's Dale Powell. And Steve Malloy makes the tackle. So Aaron Whittaker now there to Steve McGowan there. Trinity looking at 6s and 7s. Aaron Whittaker wanted to pass the ball, but nobody was there for him to pass the ball to. So it's Billy Conway, and once again, Nigel Wright, that big boat of his, gets the leather behind the ball, pushing Rovers back, and Carl Gibson taps the ball with his foot. Deep inside Rovers' 20-metre area. So once again, Ikram Butts. And this time it's number 10, Mark Shields. So Mark Gasson puts the ball high up in the stand here on the gantry just above us. Steve Malloy, first tackle in. Referee shouts held. So it's Danny Devey. Once again, Adrian Flynn having a poke at Steve Malloy this time.
What's this number 4 to Wakefield's linesman?
So it's Gary Yates. Oh, that was a nice tackle. The referee says play on. So it's Mark Gaston. Mark Gaston with the ball. To Brendan Tota. Good defence by Trinity. So it's Mark Gasson, but Trinity were offside there, so it's Matt Callan there, that little kick through. Dave Nelson there, letting the ball run dead. And Dave Nelson kicking the ball dead, so it's a drop out for Trinity underneath their own post. Good little kick that by Matt Callan, turning Trinity round. After good approach work there by Mark Gaston and Brendan Toter. So referee stopping the clock. Trinity seem to be taking the time, kicking that ball. So Brendan Toter takes that kick off there by Nigel Wright, gives the ball there to Carl Gibson. And good defence there by Ian Marlowe. So it's Brendan Toter. Drives it in on the second tackle. Billy.
Get him off the bloody field every time!
And once again Mark Shields being pulled out. Penalty kick to Rovers. So here's a chance for Mark Gasson to cut the deficits. Rovers 6, Trinity 11 up to this moment in time, and Mark Gasson there straight between the middle. No mistake with that penalty kick. Rovers 8, Trinity 11. So again, Rovers having to take that ball. Danny Devey inside his own in-goal area. An awkward bouncing ball. So it's Carl Gibson. Gets up, plays the ball. Sunderland with the ball now there to Jason Sims. Gets that ball inside there to Ikram-Butt. Ikram-Butt now there to Mark Gasson, to Brendan Toter. Brendan Toter takes the tackle there off Aaron Whittaker, just short of the halfway line. So it's Gary H. Price to Mark Aston. And Billy Conway there making sure of the tackle, so it's Sutherwood. Sutherwood now there to Neil Roebuck, to Sutherwood. So it's Mark Aston. Mark Aston there puts the bum up. That's a good kick that by Mark Aston. Lee Charles underneath it and Rovers get possession. Darren Hughes it is. Darren Hughes, it's all on. Referee giving the change over. I thought the Wakefield Trinity player had got his boot to that ball, but referee says not. So that's the change over. That's the first tackle for Trinity. Rovers 8, Trinity 11. Niall Powell slow to get to his feet to play the ball. Jason Sims there just moving off the mark that little bit, but referee letting him get away with it. Oh, quick play of the ball. Billy Conway on this blind side. Crunching tackle there by Brett Rogers and Jason Sims there on Billy Conway. Stops his progress. Now it's Mark Shields. On the last tackle, I'm sure that Nigel Wright will put plenty of bulk to this ball, but it's Aaron Whittaker, but number 5 there, Darren Hughes, Rovers wingman, just lets that ball roll into touch. And just about 40 minutes gone in this first half, plus there's playing injury time out. Rovers 8, Trinity 11, 1 try apiece. The difference is that 3 goals to 2 and a drop goal for Wakefield Trinity. The difference of 3 points. So it's Mark Aston to Matt Callan. Matt Callan running at this defence, gives the ball there to Brett Rogers. Quick play of the ball. Carl Gibson to Steve Malloy, looking for that halfway line, gets the ball away there to Graham Sutherwood. Back there to Gary H, to Graham Sutherwood. To Mark Aston. Mark Aston there's got Rome inside him. Mark Aston there. Trinity ball. But one's got to just feel that that was a try. Gonna begging for overs. So Trinity possession, 10 metres inside their own half of the field. Trying to work the way up to this. So it's Peavey with the ball there. Adrian Flynn tackled without the ball, but he could have so easily had the ball. Nigel Wright there, sizing a drop goal attempt up. And just going by the post from the halfway line. An absolutely magnificent effort that by Nigel Wright. So it's out there for all to see. Nigel Wright's boat in the second half's got to be just watched for them situations. So it's Matt Callan. So Mark Aston gives the ball there to Carl Gibson. Good play that by Mark Aston. Good backing up by Carl Gibson. Now it's Graham Sutherwood. Seconds ticking away in this first half. Trinity leading by 11 points to 8. So it's Hickman Butt to Mark Aston. Mark Aston there to Brendan Toolter. Brendan Toolter now there to Danny Devey. Danny Devey turned ball back inside. It's still all on. Hickman Butt with the ball. Rovers trying to get something in this last few seconds in this first half. Gary H. Price keeping the ball alive here. Gives it there to Brett Rogers. Brett Rogers tackled just inside, so it's Brendan Toolter. Brendan Toolter now there to Matt Callan. To Neil Roebuck. Last tackle, Rovers smelling at that try line. That little kick throw there by Mark Aston. Brilliant play by Rovers, brilliant approach work. And there goes the half-time out here at Post Office Road. Featherstone Rovers 8, try to Darren Hughes. 2 goals to Mark Aston. In reply, Wakefield Trinity 11, try to Lee Child. 3 goals to Nigel Wright plus a drop goal. Half-time score, Featherstone Rovers 8, Wakefield Trinity 11. Welcome back to Post Office Road for this second half encounter in the Stonebridge Championship game. The half-time score being Featherstone Rovers 8, Wakefield Trinity 11. So Trinity get the game underway. Mark Aston taking that kick off. So Darren Hughes, the Rovers try scorer, weaving his way through this Trinity defence. Good running that by Darren Hughes. So it's Danny Devey. Steve Malloy, I should say. Gets that pass inside, it's Graham Sutherwood to Hickman Butt. Hickman Butt there, he'll look for that halfway line, pushes one man off. Oh, and that was an high tackle. Billy Conway there, really going in high. Aaron Whittaker, I should say. Nothing set to the player. Just a penalty kick to Rovers.
Touch, Judge.
So it's Sutherwood to Steve Malloy. 2 good drives that by Steve Malloy already in this first game, half of the second half. So it's Jason Sims inside one tackler. That's all on. Neil Rowe with the ball, he gives it to Gary H. Price. So it's Graham Sutherwood to Daniel Debe. So it's Sutherwood to Jason Sims. Jason Sims there. Gets that ball to Sutherwood. Sutherwood now there to Mark Aston. Mark Aston ball back inside there to Brendan Toulter. Straightening up Brendan Toulter! Tackle is just short. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston. Good defence by Trinity. So it's Neil Roebuck. Sutherwood scores a try! Graham Sutherwood beneath the post. Absolutely brilliant approach work. Brilliant play by Neil Roebuck, slipping that ball out. And none of them players were looking at Neil Roebuck saying, thank you very much. Everybody shaking Neil Roebuck's hand there. Slipping that ball there to Graham Sutherwood. His fourth try of the season. It's Wakefield Trinity. Rovers 12, Wakefield Trinity 11 with this conversion to come from Mark Aston. So just when I can get my breath back here, Mark Aston puts the extras on, as they say. His third goal of the afternoon. It's Featherston Rovers 14, Wakefield Trinity 11. From that kick-off there, Jason Sims has had a fine match as Jason Sims, especially with his defence in the first half. Oh! And Matt Callan getting an high tackle there, but the referee awarding the drop ball. It would be a Trinity pudding, but a fine start by Rovers in the second half. Let's see if their defence is as good. Trinity's turn to have 6 goals at the ball. So Aaron Whittaker feeds the scrum. It's out to Trinity. Back there to Nigel Wright, to Aaron Whittaker, to Lee Child. And Carl Gibson there moving up quickly. That's good play that by Carl Gibson. Good defence by Rovers. So it's Whittaker. So it's Ian Marlowe looking to break that first line of defence. Good defence that by Sutherwood. Now it's number 10, Mark Shields with the ball, but that's good defence that by Gary H. Brings him round the shoulders. Now it's Billy Conway looking for men inside him. So just when Rovers were just getting the upper hand whip of this game, once again Mr Connolly decided that Rovers trying to pinch the ball in the tackle, awarding Trinity a penalty kick. And Nigel Wright once again finds himself straight in front of the sticks. Should make no problems for him in his kicking capabilities with this goal kick. 3 goals and a drop goal to his name already. Here he goes, strikes the ball, just slots it between the middle. Another 2 points for Nigel Wright, 2 points for Trinity. Featherston Rovers 14, Wakefield Trinity 13. So Mark Aston gets the game underway. Now the game's on a knife edge. 1 point separating the teams, and we know what Nigel Wright can do with these drop goal attempts. Oh, play the ball, lad. I've seen referees penalise players for doing that. Moving off the line to play the ball. On this occasion, the referees let the Trinity player get away with that. That's good play, that. Gets the ball away. Trinity are buzzing really now on the halfway line. Billy Conway tackled. Gary H. Price making the tackle. So it's Robert Peaver. Robert Peaver, strong run this by Robert Peaver. Takes something in down, he's a big fella. So it's Aaron Whittaker to Mike Forshaw, to Nigel Wright. Gets that ball to Adrian Flynn. Gets that ball away there to Ian Marlowe. Ian Marlowe, so near so far. Trinity plays on this side. They've gone the wrong way, or have they gone the wrong way? Nigel Wright there. Billy Conway struggling with the ball. It's all on. An absolutely brilliant defence by Rovers. My heart were in my mouth that time. The Rovers scrambling the fence, getting across there. But Trinity looking try scorers all the way, but Featherstone Rovers, the defence were like a brick wall that time. So Mark Gasson will feed the scrum. Rovers get possession. Brett Rogers it is, plays the ball back. The ball there to Darren Hughes. He's had a good game, gets the ball there to Ikram Butts. Trying to push Adrian Flynn up, but Adrian Flynn makes the tackle on the Rovers number 2. So it's Southernwood to Danny Devey. Danny Devey will take the tackle. Good running that by Rovers. Gary H. Price to turn, he'll look for the halfway line. Tackle 5 metres short. So it's Sutherwood to Brendan Toulton. He's making yardage, is Brendan. Gets the ball back there to Ikram Butts. And number 13 there, Mike Forshaw, makes the tackle on Ikram Butts. We're on the last tackle. Mark Gasson will hoist an high one. It's a good kick that, and David Nelson underneath it. Oh, and he's made a dash of it. Dave Nelson there. That's good. That's marvellous defence by Rovers. Mark Gasson really testing Dave Nelson out. And it's a wonder they haven't done more of that in the first half, knowing now how Dave Nelson's under pressure with these high kicks. He's renowned for it. Good kick chase by Rovers. Brilliant kick by Mark Aston. So we'll know what Nigel Wright will do with this ball. He'll try to gain as much ground advantage as he can. Drop out from underneath the post. Brendan Toulton flying across. Lets the ball roll there to Ikram, but picks it up. Ikram's over the halfway line. He's straightening up. But he succumbs to a 2-man Trinity tackle. 10 metres inside that Trinity half of the field. So it's Mark Gasson. Carl Gibson getting in on the axe. Trying to link up from full-back on the second tackle. Aaron Whittaker there makes the tackle. So it's Steve Malloy there. Up to that. Gets that ball inside there to Danny Devey. Gets that ball to Graham Sutherwood. To Mark Aston. Oh! An absolutely terrible tackle, and Brendan Toulton in possession. So it's Sutherwood. Gets that ball there to Carl Gibson. Trying to straighten up. He's side on, he's given them ball to the Trinity man. But that tackle there on Mark Aston, clearly in front of the referee, was one of the worst I've seen all season. He nearly knocked his head off his shoulders, allowed to get away with it. And referee played advantage. Was he right, was he wrong? Only time will tell. So it's Dave Nelson with the ball for Trinity. But one has to say that if the referee would have ordered a penalty, there were 2 points there for the taking.
They not say how they've been doing that all match.
And Wakefield making Trinity play the ball off the mark.
Standing!
Billy Conway. Ball back there to Nigel Wright. Nigel Wright gets the boat to the ball down the middle of the field. Carl Gibson comes across, taps the ball with his foot. That's play on. Gut kick and chase by Trinity, that with Nigel Wright kicking that ball down the middle of the field. Oh, so it's Ikram Butts to Mark Gasson. Mark Gasson did well to take that ball. Ikram Butts shrugs one man off, gets that ball across there. So it's Matt Callan with the ball. Plays the ball to himself, right to soul, never didn't have a marker. Runs it in. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston. Mark Aston now there to Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck there. That pass there to Brett Rogers. Nips back inside, but that Trinity defence standing firm. So it's Brendan Toter now from acting halfback, taking these would-be defenders on. Just slipping there when he's just going to slip the ball. And that's back to one. Trinity there playing that ball, so it's Mark Aston now. So it's Sutherwood from acting halfback, gives the ball there to Steve Malloy. Spins off one man, gets rid of the ball in the tackle. Graham Sutherwood gives the ball there to Gary H. Price. And Robert Peaver coming across, makes the tackle on the Rovers' second roll forward. So it's Sutherwood to Matt Callan. Matt Callan there, taking that ball in full flight, gives the ball there to Brett Rogers. Brett Rogers inside there to Ikram, but Ikram still going, he's still buzzing. So it's Mark Aston to Neil Roebuck. Somebody's got to run with the ball. Brendan Toter still going to Danny Davey. Gets that ball to Gary H. Price. To Mark Aston. To Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy tried to straighten up, but this Trinity defence rock solid. So it's Sutherwood. Sutherwood working the try to hit the moment. Oh. And Dio Powell there gets his size 11 ball to the ball, pushing it into the crowd. Marvellous penetration by Rovers. And just listen to the crowd rising to this Rovers team. They're in the lead by 14 points to 13. So that drop out, Brendan Toter takes it in the full. Gives it to Ikram, but and once again he'll run it back in. Out to one tackle, it's still going Ikram. Still going Ikram. Gets that ball inside there. So it's Brendan Toter running at this defence. It's all on. Brett Rogers for Rovers. Brett Rogers. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston. Mark Aston ball back inside there to Danny Davey. Looking for runners outside him. Lee Child there makes the tackle. So it's Steve Malloy. Quick play of the ball. Sutherwood. That's a knock on. That'll be Rovers' end ball. 6 more tackles after this.
It's pitch black through here.
Have you got light? Has I told him?
Yeah.
So Mark Aston feeds the scrum. It's out to Rovers. Brendan Toter takes his defence on. Brendan Toter away for that try line. Penalty kick to Rovers. And Mike Forshaw getting 10 minutes in the sin bin. Trying to take the ball off Brendan Toter as he was about to play it.
You've got away with it for an hour.
So here's a chance for Mark Aston to add to his goal teller this afternoon. 3 to his name already in this match. That makes his 4th. It's Rovers 16, Wakefield Trinity 13. Well, I must say that it's getting really well, could that be the changing point in this game here at Post Office Hall? That kick-off there going straight down Danny Davey's throat, as I say, in terms and Danny Debay there knocking the ball on, and Rovers putting themselves under pressure underneath their own post. Nigel Wright takes that drop out, gives the ball there to Dio Powell, runs it in. Dio Powell there pushes one, would be tackled off, and Jason Sims gets to grips with him. Rovers 16, Trinity 13. I was just going to say it's getting very dark here at Post Office, so we're still waiting for the floodlights to come on. Johnny Thompson on the field instead of number 80 Marlowe. So it's Robert Peavy. So here's a chance for Nigel Wright. Referee penalising Rovers for an eye tackle here in that movement. 16 points to 13 to Rovers at this moment in time, and Nigel Wright, no mistake. 5 goals to his name and a drop goal in this match. Featherstone Rovers 16, Wakefield Trinity 15.
It's terrible, isn't it?
So Rovers get the game underway, and still no floodlights on. And getting difficult to see up here in the Gantu, here, especially with the camera. So it's Lee Child now for Trinity, trying to make his way out in his own 20-metre area on the second tackle. Johnny Thompson with the ball. He's been a stalwart for Trinity over the years. Been a good servant for Wakefield as Johnny Thompson. Now it's Dave Nelson. Dave Nelson there. Good defence by Rovers. Steve Malloy making the tackle. So it's Adrian Flynn on the last tackle. So Matt Callan takes that talking bouncing ball, runs it in, gets the ball up. Rovers, Gary H. Price from a standing start. Takes the tackle, rightly so, just calms things down that little bit. So it's Jason Sims. So it's Steve Malloy, runs it in, looking at that Trinity 20-metre area. Good drive that by Steve Malloy. So it's Mark Aston to Brendan Toolter. To Danny Debay. Danny Debay there to Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck! Neil Roebuck! Neil Roebuck! Aaron Whittaker, try-saving tackle if ever I saw one. So Brendan Toolter gets that ball away to Matt Callan. To Jason Sims.
John should have walked in.
So it's Wakefield Trinity. Rowan making a substitution. Danny Debay having to come off injured, and Mark Nixon goes on the field. So it's Dave Nelson now for Trinity. Oh, that looked like a forward pass. Referee spot. So Mark Nixon on the pack. He'll go to stand off half, and Brendan Toole to take his place in the pack. So it's Matt Callan. Matt Callan there gets the ball there to Brett Rogers. Rovers desperately needing a try and a goal now to get a grip on this match. They put the pressure on this defence in this second half, but still no try. Only one try to the credits, I should say. So it's Mark Aston to Brendan Toulton. Oh, just couldn't slip that ball. Absolutely magnificent defence that by Aaron Whittaker. Plays the ball to himself. So it's Sutherwood to Mark Aston. To Jason Sims. So all the pressure Rovers are getting in that Trinity 20-metre line, and they still can't get over that whitewash. It's Featherstone Rovers 16, Wakefield Trinity 15. Johnny Thompson with the ball, trying to unleash that ball, but Neil Roebuck there watching that like an hawk. Follow the ball across the line, makes the tackle. So it's Aaron Whittaker to Nigel Wright. Ball back inside there to Robert Peavy. Robert Peavy on the run. Robert Peavy. That's a knock on. Knock on offside. Whatever you want to call it, the referee will give the knock on. Rovers feed the scrum, it's out to Rovers, Darren Hughes. Takes that tackle off Nigel Wright. So it's Sutherwood to Carl Gibson there. Referee shouts out, plays the ball, so it's Sutherwood now. Ball back inside to Gary H. Price. Gary H. Price now there to Neil Roebuck. Neil Roebuck a bit of room to work it. Back inside there to Darren Hughes. So it's Mark Nixon to Mark Aston. Mark Aston there to Graham Sutherwood. Back inside there to Gary H. Price. Inside that Trinity 20-metre area again. Mark Aston now there to Matt Calland. Running straight, gets that ball across. Darren Hughes with the ball. Dave Nelson there makes the tackle. So it's Neil Roebuck, that little kick across, it's all on. Well, there were 3 knock-ons in that moment. The first by Featherstone Rovers play, but the referee set play on. So it's Johnny Thompson now for Trinity. Billy Conway being tackled by Mark Nixon. Trinity putting pressure on this Rovers defence now. Matt gets that rid of that ball to Aaron Whittaker, to Adrian Flynn. Good defence that by Steve Malloy. Oh, an absolutely brilliant play that by Brendan Toulton. Well, I just don't know what Robert Peavy's playing at in this game, because that's the 3rd time he's just thrown the ball away in disgust. He's just losing his marbles.
Get bloody Beaver off!
So Steve Malloy will run this tap penalty in off Graham Sutherwood. Good running that by Steve Malloy. He's led by example this afternoon. Change of direction there to Matt Calland. He's also had a strong game in the centre. He runs true and straight, does Matt Calland. So it's Gary H. 3 good drives, that's Steve Malloy, Matt Calland and Gary H. Price there. We're inside that Trinity 20-metre yet again. So it's Jason Sims, that's 4 tackles gone. 5 metres short of that Trinity try line. Brendan Toulton. That's 5. Is there a drop goal attempt coming here? Sutherwood to Mark Aston. Mark Aston, oh, if you're going to kick the ball, I'd kick it. And once again, Rovers' approach was absolutely brilliant, but they just can't seem to get over the try line. Nigel Bell it is, runs it in. So it's Aaron Whittaker to Johnny Thompson. Robert Peaver. Good defence that by Graham Sutherwood. Good strong tackle. So it's Johnny Thompson. Trinity will be looking for a drop goal now. So it's Billy Thompson on the last tackle. Ball back there to Nigel Wright. Attempted drop goal. And Carl Gibson caught it on the full. That'll be a Rovers tap. Carl Gibson with the ball. They're offside. Good play that by Carl Gibson. So it's Gary H. Price up to the halfway line. Mark Aston, ball back inside there for Jason Sims. Jason Sims, that's a good run that by Jason Sims. 10 metres inside Trinity half of the field. Now it's Ikram Butt from acting half-back. Ikram Butt still going, gets the ball away there to Graham Sutherwood. To Mark Nixon. Mark Nixon trying to run straight. But Lee Child gets to grips on him. Sutherwood with the ball to Brendan Toolter. Just couldn't slip that ball away. Sutherwood from acting half-back now there to Mark Aston. To Brett Rogers. Good play that by Rovers. Brett Rogers and Darren Hughes working the wing partnership brilliantly there. Kick through Aaron Whittaker quick to get ball back. So once again another drop out for Trinity underneath their own post. And Jason Sims coming off the field and Danny Devey comes back on. Got his ankles strapped up. So Carl Gibson it is, takes that drop out from Nigel Wright, runs it in, tackled on the halfway line. That's the first tackle. Danny Devey quick into the things again. Danny Devey runs it in, that's the second tackle. So it's Sutherwood to Steve Malloy. That's a big driving by Steve Malloy. That's the third tackle, we'll count him down. Sutherwood, Neil Roebuck. Roebuck to Darren Hughes. No need to miss men out in that. That's the fourth tackle. Sutherwood to Mark Aston. Mark Aston. That's the fifth tackle. That's it. So it's Sutherwood. Shit. Could he dive? We don't need to kick it. We've got an overlap. So once again, Trinity find themselves tapping the ball on their own 20-metre line. Big strong run that by Adrian Flynn. Mike Forshaw to Lee Chan. That's a knock on. Referee says play on, advantage. Where's bloody advantage there, Connolly? Well, Mark Nixon there, try to open this Trinity defence up. Darren Hughes with the ball to Brendan Toolter over the halfway line. Skips round one tackler. But Nigel Bell there comes to grips with him, makes the perfect tackle. So it's Danny Devey. And Darren Hughes has to back through. Oh. So David Nelson will be pulled out for that tackle there on Darren Hughes. Chris, how long? Hey. So just about 9 minutes left for playing this match here at Post Office Road. Mark Aston with a penalty kick towards this near touchline side. Couldn't tell, but fine touch. So it'll be Graham Sutherwood to get the game underway. 1 point separating the two teams. So Steve Malloy, once again, that big drive in, a marvellous drive in that by Steve Malloy. So it's Sutherwood to Danny Devey. Danny Devey. Then big long legs of his striding out towards the post. He's tackled underneath him, but about 10 metres short. So it's Mark Aston. Mark Aston there, that little dummy. Gives the ball there to Mark Nixon. On the third tackle. Plays the ball, so it's Mark Aston. That's 4 tackles gone in this sequence of 6. That's a knock on, but that's back to 1. Here's a chance for overs. Trinity offside. That play the ball. Aston a chance to put Rovers with a 3-point cushion here with his penalty goal attempts. Whatever the outcome, the ball make sure the ball goes dead. Strikes the ball straight between the middle. His 5th goal of the afternoon. Featherstone Rovers 18, Wakefield Trinity 15. What? No, not no. Played well this. Yeah.
But they just can't score.
So that drop out. Matt Callan gets that kick out. And that's good tackling that by Trinity. So Wickham but for Rovers. Rovers have got to play these 6 tackles out. So Gary H, that's the 3rd tackle. Rovers still camped inside their own 20-metre area. So it's Danny Devey for Rovers. That's the 4th tackle. Quick play of the ball, so it's Graham Sutherwood. It's that ball out wide there to Steve Malloy. Steve Malloy through the gap. He's on the charge. It's Steve Malloy on the charge. Steve Malloy turns back inside. Absolutely brilliant play that by Steve Malloy. He's my man of the match. So it's Mark Aston to Graham Sutherwood. Graham Sutherwood, what was he playing at there? Taking his eye off the ball. Well, absolutely unbelievable. All that hard work by Steve Malloy, and it was an absolutely magnificent break by the Rovers prop forward. So Johnny Thompson, tackled by Danny Devey, just about on the halfway line. Billy Conway to Aaron Whittaker, to Nigel Wright, spins that ball out wide, but good defence by Rovers. Brett Rogers pulling the tackle off. So it's Adrian Flynn. And Adrian Flynn there being tackled 10 metres inside Rovers half of the field. So Billy Conway to Robert Peaver. Through the gap. But Brendan Toter, watching him like an hawk, pulls a perfect tackle off. So it's Aaron Whittaker to Nigel Wright. We're on the last tackle. Now what can Trinity conjure up? That little kick over, it's all on. Rovers get possession. Is it Mark Nixon? Gary H. Price it was who took that high ball. Cool as a cucumber there, taking that ball there, that little kick through by Nigel Wright. So it's Ickram, but steadying things down a bit. So it's Brendan Toter from acting half-back. Brendan Toter slow to get to his feet, so Danny Deeby, he'll look for the halfway line, he's tackled 5 metres short. So Graham Sutherwood. The ball there to Darren Hughes, that's better running by Darren Hughes. That's good penetration by the Rovers wingman. Now it's Gary H. Another good drive, but on the last tackle, are we going to put a bomb up now this time? I'm sure Mark Aston will do. All the time in the world. There it goes, Carl Gibson underneath it. Back to one. Referee judging that Trinity player touched the ball on the way. So it's Carl Gibson. He's just short of that Trinity try line. Brendan Toter. He scored! Brendan Toter! He's riddled and jiggled his way over the line. Brendan Toter's 5th try of the season. And no more important, that must have been the most important try that Brendan Toter scored in the Featherstone Rovers colours. Brilliant try by Brendan Toter. How he got through them would-be tacklers, there's only him knows, but controversy rages from that Mark Aston up and under. Did the Trinity player play the ball? The referee says he did. Another 6 to Rovers. Carl Gibson tackling just short from the play the ball. Brendan Toter riddled and whittled and jiddled his way over the line. And Mark Aston with his conversion attempts. 5 goals to his name already this afternoon. Can he crown it off? Slicing by the post. Rovers 22. Trinity 15. And the Rovers man of the match this afternoon goes to Gary H in the second row. He's had some forceful runs. James Sutherwood there. But every man's played his part in this Rovers day. That's everything this afternoon. There's still time to go. Rovers 7 points to the good. And Brendan Toter being substituted. And number 15, Richard Gunn, coming on the field. So it's Danny Deevey. So it's Richard Gunn, first touch of the ball. Looking at that Trinity 20-metre line. So it's Graham Sutherwood to Mark Aston, and Mark Aston wants... Oh, that was a late tackle on Mark Aston. No try, the knock on. And there goes the final here from Post Office Road, and what a deserved win Rovers needed. After a lacklustre first half, they've really come out flying in the second half. And Featherstone Rovers have won the game by 22 points to 15. Rovers try scorers, Darren Hughes a try, Brendan Toter a try, Graham Woodard a try, with Mark Casson tagging on. 5 goals in reply. Lee Child a try. And Nigel Wright's 5 goals and a drop goal. The final scoring from Post Office Road, and a well-deserved win for Rovers after that brilliant second half performance. Featherstone Rovers 22, Wakefield Trinity 15.